Hello guys, it's PJ back again. Today we're working on a 2018 Hyundai I800. Now this would be a van or a minibus depending what configuration you've got. And what I want to show you is how to wire in something to the ignition so that it switches on and off with the key. That could be a sat nav or a camera, take your pick. This particular vehicle I'm doing a sat nav because you don't want a wire hanging down your window like that. Now where I will have to fit it is down in the bottom right hand corner. Wiper arc is here, so the wiper will not cover the bottom corner, so it's going to sit roughly here and it's going to be wired to the ignition system of the vehicle. First things first, fuse box. Where is it? Well, it's here. You just pull the cover off like so, and there's your fuse diagram on the back there. But before we start work on this vehicle, I just need to point out that by following this video guide, I am in no way held liable or responsible for any damage to your vehicle or injury to yourself. Sat nav positioned in the corner, we're going to run the power cable down here and we're going to pop off this end panel. Now to do this, you're going to need a plastic leverage tool like so. You can get these off eBay, Amazon, they're about £1, well worthwhile. Don't shove a screwdriver in it, you will definitely mangle the plastic and make it look a mess. You don't want little dints in the plastic, it needs to look factory fitted as possible. So put your leverage tool in, pop it off, it's on clips, look, all the way around there. That one comes out, it says. Rubber seal's quite tight, it's quite a new car. And then we're going to put the power cable through here. And there we go. Down there, through the side, behind, here, tuck through, drop down into the passenger footwell so you've got access to your fuse box. Next up, you're going to need a couple of bits. You're going to need a Molex plug, female plug. This is to plug the cigarette lighter thing into, so we can plug that into there. These again, Amazon, eBay, not very dear, normally a couple of quid. And a mini blade fuse spur adapter, okay, for your power cable, so that'll go on there. And all this does is double up an accessory socket in your fuse box to allow power output to the sat nav or camera, whichever. It'll have a fuse in it already, 2 or a 3 amp, and that's to run the actual sat nav or the camera. Sometimes it'll have a bigger fuse in, depends which version you buy, but normally a 3 amps ample. And then it'll have a space at the side of that for you to put the fuse in that you pull out of the fuse box to run the original circuit. Okay, I'll show you that one in detail in a minute. First of all, we're going to connect the earth. You'll notice it's got a ring on it here, and all we're going to do is undo this 12mm bolt and earth the ring to that, put it behind it basically. And there we have it. Bolt out, sandwiched in the middle. I'll put a washer on the back of it just so it doesn't get squished, and we can now put that back in where it came from, just there. And that'll be a very nice earthing point. It's to the chassis, to steel, bare steel there, and it'll give a nice earth to the item. Just tighten that back up with your wrench so it's all nice and secure. Don't worry, your dashboard won't move anywhere, it's held in with some other bolts and stuff, it's not going anywhere taking this bolt out. Next up, with the ignition off, we're going to be choosing an accessory fuse. Now, it's pretty easy on this vehicle because, like I say, you've got this guide. At the bottom left hand corner here is the cigarette lighter socket. You can get that to focus. Nope, 20 amp anyway, yellow fuse. Bottom right is just there. That fuse goes on and off with the ignition. So 0 volts, ignition is currently off. And if we touch the contact on the fuse there, 0 volts. Turn the ignition on and that will become live to 11.5, 12 volts, okay? That's an accessory fuse. Don't use anything for ABS or airbags or anything like that. So we're going to go with this bottom one. Obviously, depending on the spec of your vehicle and country of origin, this could vary. Fuse box is quite recessed, so with the ignition off, we're going to use some long nose pliers to get that. Pull it out, there we go. And pop that into your fuse spur, into the spare slot. Like so. Connect your fuse spur to the power cable of the Molex connector with a bullet connector or solder it, take pick. We'll be insulating taping that as well. And then plug this back into the slot that you pulled the fuse from, the one at the bottom there. Like so. Next up is simply a case of plugging the power cable to the sat nav into the Molex, like so, I normally tape them together because in hot weather, or with the vibration of potholes, they can bounce out and then stop working. So we're going to tape it shut, tape it together with electrical tape, and basically we're going to bind it all up, all this spare cable that's hanging around, and tuck it down the side here neatly, cable tied to the frame so it's out of the way. But before you do any of that, you can test it. So put your ignition on and make sure it goes live. So we have a power light. Let's turn it on, the ignition. And there we go, on it comes. And there's your sat nav on. Tidy up, and the job is nearly complete. When putting the vehicle back together, just be aware there's like a hook here that has to sit behind, so don't just sort of shove on it and push because you'll probably break it. Just clip it all together, give it a tap, one-handed, not easy. And there we go. Job done, everything put back together, factory finish. Guys, if you've got any questions, pop them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer you as quickly as possible, but just bear in mind, I get literally inundated with questions every day, so that's millions of you guys and one of me. Just bear with me, might be a day or two maximum that I get back to you, but thank you very much for watching, and goodbye for now.